Hi, welcome back to Golf Training Hacks and part 4 in our series on creating a more consistent backswing. So in parts 1, 2, and 3, we worked on pelvic alignment, we worked on hip internal rotation, and we worked on improving strength in your hips so that when you rotate, you have some strength into this new range of motion. But as I've said many times in Golf Training Hacks, the golf swing sends your hips backwards, right? It's a backwards motion. So as we're rotating, we're extending our hips backwards. Unfortunately, a lot of golfers just don't have the strength to do that. Now, maybe they can do it when they're just standing here, but the golf swing is a high velocity, high force rotation. So once the movement starts, they just can't do it. Now, I haven't seen many golfers, no matter what their strength level, that they don't send their hips back a little bit and point their belt buckle to the ball at address. But as soon as they start moving, they just don't have the strength to keep this position. So they'll stand up and begin to move. So all they're then doing is rotating on their hip without extending rearward, or maybe they're gliding laterally. If you can't do this, you're going to create variability in your swing because you're not going to be able to maintain a neutral stable spine and rotate around that neutral stable spine, maintaining the correct spine angles. So in this video, we're going to work on improving your ability to extend your hips into rotation. So let's get started. So what is a Romanian deadlift? Well, it's actually the top of the deadlift. So I'm going to demonstrate it with this light bar. And I'm going to start by turning my side to you, because that's really where you're going to see where a Romanian deadlift is. So what you need to do in a Romanian deadlift is keep your shoulders engaged. So this bar is going to just drag up and down my pants, and my hips are going to go backwards. Now I'm going to keep my knees at a very slight angle, just so they're not stiff. I'm just bending them a little bit. And that angle that I start with is the angle I want to keep through the whole exercise. So I want to establish a neutral spine, some extension in my lower back, some flexion in my T-spine, and a little bit of extension in my cervical spine. So I set my back position, I bend my knees a little bit, and now the movement is backwards. Hips go back. So I'm engaged, the bar is engaged onto my legs, my shoulders are back, my hips are going back, and I'm keeping this neutral spine all the way down and up. I'm not so worried about going down that far. It's only to where I can go. So neutral spine, hip hinge back. The knee angle that I started with is the knee angle I want to keep. I keep that neutral spine, and then I'll just do repetitions like this. Hips go back. Hips go back, hips go back, spine stays neutral, and then I come up. So that's the technique of a Romanian deadlift. So classically, the Romanian deadlift is done with a barbell and plates. As I said, it's actually the top of a deadlift. So I'm not going to go into the deadlift right now, but I'm just going to deadlift this bar up, and then I'm going to do a Romanian deadlift once it's in the right position. So I'm going to deadlift this bar up. So I have the bar against my legs, my shoulders are engaged, I bend my knees just a little bit, they stay bent at that angle, and now my hips go back, hips go back, hips go back. I keep that neutral spine and come up. Hips go back, the bar is engaged, hips go back, hips go back, hips go back, and up. So that's a classic Romanian deadlift with a bar and plates. You can also do a Romanian deadlift with a dumbbell. It's the same thing. Neutral back, knees are slightly bent, hips go back. I keep that neutral spine. Shoulders are engaged, hips go back. You need to keep your spine neutral, and once you set the angles of your knees. You want to keep them there. Now from the front, I engage my shoulders, neutral spine, my knees are bent slightly, hip hinge back and up. Hip hinge back, and I'm keeping my chest up. So I'm not looking down like this. Chest up, shoulders engaged. I'm also not dropping my shoulders. So you can do it 1 dumbbell or 2. Two dumbbells, same idea. Neutral spine, knees slightly bent, engage your shoulders, down. From the front, shoulder width, chest up, engage your shoulders, neutral spine, knees at a slight angle, and the hips go back. So that's an RDL with dumbbells. You could also do a single leg RDL with carrying the dumbbell on one side. Excellent exercise for stability. So you don't need dumbbells or a barbell to do an RDL. If you have some type of pulley system, you can do an RDL as well. So let me show you how. So with pulleys, you're going to do the same technique that you would do if you have dumbbells or a barbell. The handles are going to be like the bar or the dumbbell. You're going to keep the handles close to your legs. Your shoulders are engaged. You set your neutral spine. You're going to have a slight bend in your knee, and then you hip hinge back and go down, keeping the handles close to your legs. So it's not a race to get down. You don't want to dump your shoulders in. You want to keep your shoulders engaged. Knees at the angle that you start. So we don't want knee movement. It's not a squat. It's hips back and down. Keeping that neutral spine. If that's all you can go down, that's fine. So you don't need dumbbells, you don't need a barbell. You can do it with pulleys. So if you found this helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And check out other videos on the channel. And if you can refer us to some of your golfing friends, that'd be great. And you know what? It's not just golfers that can benefit from movement quality improvements. Everybody can. So thanks for watching.